In the 1980s to 1990s, Oprah Winfrey became the connecting hub for a series of black female actresses. They came to Harpo with respect, carrying the memories of a whole generation.
As you can see, every welcoming hug was formal. Every on-screen meeting was polite, refined.
The show's atmosphere was always kept at the most elegant level possible.
Their fame shone brightly under the lights, but behind the backstage door, the story was sometimes very different. Not about money or power, but just trivial details, very real, very true, but also very hard to put into words. Sometimes it's a sour smell like vinegar. Sometimes it's a pungent stink like raw onions. Sometimes it's a rancid smell like spoiled milk fermented for weeks. Oprah was the one who felt those smells most clearly because she had to interact closely with the stars, many cases even causing her horrific obsessions. And the stories I'm about to tell here will open that backstage door, showing you the 7 black female actresses with the most terrible smells who ever stepped onto Oprah's show. These stories aren't for the weak-nosed, nor for anyone used to a glittering Hollywood behind glossy glass. 7. Olivia Cole. The sour, pungent smell like vinegar made Harpo backstage suffocating. Olivia Cole is a veteran American screen actress tied to the lead role in the miniseries Roots, often appearing in programs discussing black film history. She was mentioned by experts as a character with depth and a strong voice in the profession. Olivia Cole's fame was once very high enough that her mere presence was enough to make people marvel. But there were hard-to-smell moments backstage that cracked her beautiful image. On October 18, 1989, at Harpo Studios in Chicago, the cast backstage meeting took place in an excited atmosphere before the miniseries promotion campaign. Olivia had just landed after a long flight from Los Angeles, no time to rest before heading straight to Harpo.
Oprah welcomed her with a warm hug, a familiar gesture for respected colleagues.
No one expected that in that intimate moment, a sour, pungent smell suddenly rose from Olivia's scalp, hitting Oprah's nose, making her dizzy. However, Oprah didn't react harshly because she understood the cause of this smell came from the habit of keeping thick wigs on for many days to maintain the hairstyle for Miss Sophie's role. The synthetic wig layer hugged the scalp, plus accumulated sweat after hours of travel, creating an unpleasant smell when close. It evoked the feeling like a vinegar bottle sealed too long, then suddenly opened. Though uncomfortable with this smell, Oprah still tried to keep a polite smile. The issue was her body had a much more honest reflex. She held her breath, gently stepped back a bit to create just enough distance, avoiding the smell hitting straight up her nose while not breaking the polite and professional space. Those nearby also came to hug and shake hands with Olivia, quickly feeling the change in the space. A few eyes glanced awkwardly, a few seat shifts, very subtle but enough to show the discomfort spreading. Time passed. This story flowed with the busy tapings, and Oprah often avoided too close contact with Olivia as a natural body defense mechanism. But in early December 1989, once again, Olivia's body smell became the center, causing a more suffocating and uncomfortable feeling than before.
That day, after the successful wrap of the Brewster Place series,
A party for staff and cast was held at a restaurant near the studio.
Cozy space, soft golden lights, melodious music, light clinking of utensils on plates creating a relaxing feel. Oprah was arranged to sit next to Olivia, the initial conversation quite cheerful around roles and career memories. Everything went smooth until Olivia leaned close to whisper. Oprah immediately felt a strange smell spreading, this time similar but also different from before. First, still the sour sweat smell stuck to the wig, then another smell similar to smoked fish, burnt mixed with pungent raw onions, and that smell wafted from Olivia's mouth. Olivia had the habit of eating Jamaican dried fish as a daily snack. The dried fish smell lingered long, especially when oral hygiene after wasn't emphasized. When combined with the pungent raw onion smell and the oily scalp smell fermented under the wig for days, the intense feeling was truly unforgettable. Oprah couldn't show attitude outwardly, but her very small reactions said it all. She sipped coffee continuously, as if trying to use coffee smell to cover the unpleasant scent clinging to her olfaction. The conversation was redirected faster than usual. Deeper secret stories left hanging to avoid leaning close. Whispering, the talking pace also became hurried. Oprah focused more on eating, as if unconsciously wanting to end this meal early. Those moments never appeared on camera, nor mentioned in interviews, but they still marked silently in the memories of those who interacted closely with Olivia. Olivia Cole's fame, talent, and thick experience, indeed undeniable. But parallel to that glow are sloppy personal hygiene habits making people shudder. Over time, such stories spread backstage, not to smear, but simply to show that behind the perfect shell of a person on stage and TV, there are still very ordinary shortcomings. 6. Lynette McKe, the sharp sweat smell like yogurt mixed with rotten onions. Lynette McKe was once a bright face of American screen, marked with sparkle, and the mini-series The Women of Brewster Place, produced by Oprah, an actress with personality but gradually forgotten over time. Late December 1989, Harpo Productions' office entered tense promotion prep when filming wrapped. Dense meeting schedule, busy work, everyone walked fast, worked fast, spoke fast, thought fast. The atmosphere thus somewhat stuffy.
Lynette McKe appeared after a flight from New York, dressed neatly.
Face full of confidence, of an actress always caring for her figure.
Oprah approached to welcome with an intimate hug, a warm smile, the typical welcome of a producer for key actors. But that welcoming moment hadn't passed fully when a sour sweat smell like concentrated acid suddenly hit Oprah's olfaction from the armpit area. The smell didn't spread gradually, but slammed straight into Oprah's sense of smell. This smell came from the habit of high-intensity yoga every morning to keep shape for Lorraine's role. After practice, armpit-soaked sweat, not cleaned thoroughly, then sprayed perfume heavily to cover. The two mixed, creating a compound smell, fragrant from afar, sour close up. Oprah felt it like yogurt salad mixed with crushed, rotten onions. Oprah ended that hug very quickly, just a short pause, but enough for her to think of coping way. She stepped back a few steps, went to the window and opened it for ventilation. Natural action, like she just wanted this stuffy and tense space more airy. Thanks to that, Lorraine didn't notice anything and wasn't made awkward. But when she stepped up to greet others with a high waving arm freely, everyone in the room immediately felt the atmosphere change.
No one said anything, but the discomfort showed through how they changed standing spots.
And breathed more cautiously. Their gestures were really very subtle, as you're seeing here.
Perhaps because no one reacted harshly, so after lowering her arm, Lynette still kept calm face, not realizing the horrible smell clinging tightly to her armpits. After sitting down, she started talking non-stop about training schedule, about determination to keep figure for the role, about not wanting to appear sloppy on camera. That meticulousness and perfectionist mindset, ironically, became the source of the unforgettable embarrassment of the meeting. Less than a month later, on January 20th, 1990, the miniseries preview screening took place at a small theater near the studio. Dim lights, cramped seats, closed and warm space. After screening, the group gathered in the waiting room where all film emotions would be shared for final edit serving. Lynette proactively sat next to Oprah to discuss more about Lorraine's role, a character with many emotional layers. When the conversation just started, the heavy breath smell hit Oprah's nose. Lynette had the habit of eating fresh, raw garlic daily as a natural health measure. The issue was sulfur smell from garlic clung very persistently in mouth cavity. especially when eating garlic without brushing or rinsing. It rose every time she moved lips, like rotten eggs heated many times. The atmosphere between them immediately changed. Oprah lightly covered nose and mouth with hand, extremely natural action, like someone pondering. Actually, she was just pretending to think with distant gaze, all to avoid directly inhaling smell from Lynette's mouth. That small gesture repeated continuously throughout the conversation, enough to show her discomfort level. When Lynette turned to discuss with another sitting next, that person also couldn't hold and turned body after a few sentences, pretended covering mouth to cough a few, then made stretching action really tense, making the chair shift out a bit. Lynette didn't know those subtle actions were completely to avoid her. She still continued sharing about character emotions, about immersion, about bold acting choices, but that breath smelled like an invisible film, blurring all serious discussion content from her mouth. The exchange was pushed fast, everyone's opinions given hurriedly, especially Oprah and the one next to Lynette. They just wanted to leave that garlic stuffy space soon as possible. Such situations, of course, didn't appear in newspapers, not mentioned in film promotions. They existed like scattered but unforgettable memory pieces backstage, where film glow gave way to real people with personal habits not everyone likes. 5. Mary Alice. The moldy damp smell impossible to dispel, like in a long-year unvented wardrobe. Mary Alice is a veteran American screen actress, marked with A Different World, Sparkle, and many appearances in programs honoring preceding black actor generations, a name respected for career depth. On March 10, 1989, studio backstage started bustling very early. Makeup session before a group cast interview took place in closed space. Bright white lights, makeup and hairspray, smells sweetly mixed. Mary Alice appeared with calm demeanor, face keeping familiar, steady look of one through many acting decades. Oprah approached to greet with a friendly handshake, then light hug per courtesy of long acquaintances. But unfortunately, the greeting hadn't fully when an old, moldy, damp smell suddenly hit Oprah's nose. That wasn't sharp, pungent smell bursting in a moment, then vanishing right, but lingering, thick and persistent, clinging deep into every fabric fiber. That smell haunted on Mary's clothes, spreading slowly but steadily, like Oprah just flung open a long-year unvented wardrobe door. Not only similar smell type, but spreading mechanism also identical, very hard to dispel completely. That nose-wrinkling smell came from habit of re-wearing tailored outfits from 70s. Mary cherished them like career mementos, rarely dry cleaning for fear fabric damage, losing clothes form. Over time, fabric oil, sweat, and dust accumulated, forming moldy, damp smell familiar to anyone keeping old stuff too long. In makeup room's closed space, that smell like having weight, making atmosphere heavier, even makeup smells couldn't overpower. Though uncomfortable, but Oprah still reacted very delicately, just slightly turning head, breathing slower, then silently signaling staff to turn fans stronger. Fan whirring, fresh air blasts blowing whoosh through the room, making powder fly lightly and everyone's hair flutter. However, when Mary stepped before the fan, that moldy, damp smell flew fiercer with wind, making some in-room change standing spots to avoid. Luckily, Oprah was perceptive, quickly pulling Mary from windhead position. After, Mary still unaware of the discomfort she caused. She sat on makeup chair, chatting about interview schedule, about public appearances with beaming smile. Time flowed, incidents settled with successive tapings. Most time Mary wore crew costumes, so no repeating old condition. Everyone also didn't complain about that moldy smell because anyway, it wasn't unacceptable level. Then, to late May 1990, everyone organized a small party after Brewster Place series' first premiere. Party took place in cozy space, soft golden lights, light melodious music, people standing in small groups, clinking glasses and chatting. Mary pulled Oprah to sit in a room corner for private exchange, distance close enough for Oprah to clearly feel space change. Initially, atmosphere still comfortable, until Mary reached to smooth a loose hair strand on Oprah's forehead. That strange smell immediately hit Oprah's face. That was smell of skin cream Mary self-made with pure cocoa butter. She often carried it in purse for use when needed, but this cream left long without cold storage, very easy to spoil. When mixed with sweat smell, old age smell, and room temperature, it created smell both fatty and sharp sour, extremely uncomfortable when close contact. That fragrance didn't burst or spread strongly. It only affected people near Mary, and especially when Mary's hand waved near. Oprah could only force a smile, then lightly shift body to one side to delicately avoid. After a few sentences, Oprah proactively stood up, offered to get water for both, creating natural excuse to leave the increasingly stuffy room corner. After cool glass brought to mouth, not just quenching thirst, but also helping create needed break for challenged olfaction. Mary still continued chatting, even deep voice, excited eyes, not noticing Oprah always delicately avoiding when Mary's hand waved near face. For Mary, that personal cream-applying habit was normal daily life part, very hard to change at old age. But in narrow backstage environment where distance shortened, that habit accidentally became burden for the other. Of course, Oprah Winfrey's fame, talent, and respect for Mary Alice still intact. But those smells bearing strong personal marks of Mary also left indelible impression in Oprah's memories and those ever very close to her. 4. Gloria Foster. The scalp smell like blue cheese made backstage air stuffy. Gloria Foster is a veteran actress, in many supporting roles in 80s to 90s period, and later remembered more by audiences through The Matrix. She was often invited to programs honoring Black women in film. Around late October 1992, Harpo Studios prepared to tape a special episode around veteran Black actors. The atmosphere then both formal and friendly, mixed between respect and nostalgic feel. Gloria Foster appeared with a wool hat worn close to head, an inseparable part of her image. Just seeing Gloria, Oprah quickly approached to greet, showing admiration for one who went through many ups and downs of the profession. Their hug, light yet warm, but hit an invisible barrier, Gloria's greasy scalp smell. Hair thinning with age made her frequently wear wool hat to hide, but the issue was she often didn't wash it for many days straight. Excess oil accumulated, fermented in stuffy environment, creating sour, sharp smell, yet a bit musty like blue cheese forgotten too long in damp, low place. Oprah tried shallow breathing, keeping even and light rhythm to avoid dizziness hitting. A few standing nearby also unconsciously widened distance, eyes quickly glancing over Gloria's hair, then turning away, leaving a hard-to-name silence. Oprah noticed everyone's reaction so cleverly led Gloria to a more airy area, as if simply wanting to change chatting spot. The cool breeze outside hallway blew in, somewhat diluting the smell hovering on Gloria's head. Gloria still chattered endlessly, passionately talking about old roles, about feeling forgotten in career stagnant phase. Ironically, her discreet style in recent years contributed to maintaining the constant hat habit. Perhaps for Gloria, the hat not only covered thin hair, but also an armor protecting self-esteem. So Oprah completely understood and sympathized with this scalp smell. But Gloria's smell issue wasn't just that. Right early 1993, after a short interview on New Year plans in the green room backstage, Oprah and Gloria sat waiting for tea in the closed room. Chicago weather, then humid and unusually hot, room air thus quite stuffy. Only after a few minutes they sat down. A nose-piercing stink started rising from below. That was the pungent foot sweat smell wafting from the thick wool socks Gloria habitually wore year-round to keep joints warm. Even changing socks daily, hard to avoid accumulated smell, mixed between apple vinegar sour and characteristic moldy fungus feel. That smell sneaked slowly around the tea table area. Oprah could only adjust posture, shift chair lightly farther, while trying to keep face calm. She politely suggested staff bring new shoes in, the type for one-time wear in hotels, so everyone could change to slippers and move comfortably. Gloria, not too mindful, immediately agreed and took off shoes with socks to slip into loose flip-flops. But while Gloria enjoyed the comfort, others were tormented. A few light coughs sounded. A few stood up walking with excuse to stretch. No one said out, but the unpleasant fragrance rising from the socks and shoes in room corner was controlling their every small move. Finally, Oprah had to whisper to staff, "Take everyone's footwear out to room door." She said, "Stacking like that makes the room feel too cramped." 3. Paula Kelly. The fermented sweat smell, sharp like spoiled vinegar oil. Paula Kelly is singer-cum-actress, once marked with Sweet Charity and The Women of Brewster Place. Her career lasted many years, persistent but always standing at the main light edge. On January 11, 1990, in a closed meeting room at Harpo Studios, under cold, bright fluorescent lights, room door closed, everyone sat close due to limited space. Paula Kelly stepped into room with firm figure of professional dancer, sweat still streaming on skin after dense practice schedule and successive shoots without break. Oprah approached to hug-greet, a familiar gesture to thank for emotional Teresa role. Right that moment, sour, sharp sweat smell mixed with musty olive oil hit Oprah's olfaction straight. That was thick layer, clinging tight, covering Paula's skin like invisible cloak. Paula had habit massaging body with natural olive oil after each high-intensity dance practice to keep flexibility. When oil soaked into skin, mixed with hot sweat, not washed off right due to too dense schedule, it started fermenting, making Paula's body smell like vinegar oil forgotten too long in kitchen to the point spoiled. The meeting room space already closed, wine became more stuffy. Oprah tried holding breath, inhale rhythm in time, hugging Paula. After Paula released, Oprah quickly sat on chair a just enough distance from Paula to continue chatting, but that distance, not enough for Paula's body smell to vanish. Those around also started feeling that smell wafting around. A few had to lean away from Paula to not be affected too much by the heavy smell airstream. No one complained anything, but that smell clearly controlled the whole room. Paula knew people avoiding her, but still comfortable and lively. Body tense, full energy, limb movements, free, bold quality of one living lifetime with rhythm. For her, applying olive oil not just care habit, but also indispensable part of dancer life. She believed that natural body smell, also sign of serious labor. Time flew fast. Shoot schedule continued sweeping everyone forward. To late May 1990, in backstage waiting room before promotion session for Brewster Place series, Paula's body smell once more made Oprah dizzy. Waiting room that day crowded, chairs close, atmosphere warmed quickly. Oprah sat next to Paula to ask more about experience taking pioneering lesbian role, a sensitive but important topic. When exchange just started, sharp, pungent breath smell immediately spread. Paula had habit chewing fresh black pepper daily with a spoon garlic oil, seeing that as metabolism-stimulating way per dancer diet. Pepper and garlic smell clung tight in mouth cavity, mixed warm, hot breath, creating quite sharp sulfur smell like cigarette smoke mixed with rotten cheese dish. Every time Paula excitedly laughed big, that smell thickened more, wafting straight into opposite face. Oprah smiled, nodding, continuously appearing attentively listening, but actually she had to try limiting breath. If just smiling and nodding forever without else, it's weird. So Oprah occasionally pretended drinking ice water to create nose shield. Cold water glass touching lips helped her feel atmosphere milder somewhat. Paula still continued talking non-stop, bright eyes, voice full enthusiasm. For her, chewing pepper with garlic oil was part body discipline, like dance practice, like dieting. Small sacrifices about mouth cavity, smell just price for supple body and durable career. So she also ignored when that habit accidentally became burden for opposite. 2. Barbara Montgomery. The sour pickled cucumber smell made conversations a nightmare. Barbara Montgomery is a familiar small screen face, quietly appearing in Amen and many TV films, representing the middle-aged black actor class with profession, dedicating many years but rarely standing at the spotlight center. Early April 1990 days, Harpo Studios backstage entered rushed prep rhythm for group actor interviews serving promotion. Makeup room crowded, glaring lights shining on large mirrors, laughter mixed in hot, steamy air. Barbara appeared with simple cotton dress that had followed her through many career years. For her, that was familiar attire, tied to memories from 70s filming days, something she cherished to the point rarely dry cleaning for fear fading color, losing familiar feel. When Oprah stepped into room, she quickly greeted each. To Barbara's turn, Oprah also gave light hug as habit-encouraging actors before air. That action happened very fast, but enough for damp, moldy clothes smell to hit her nose. It like damp wood gnawed by termites through many rainy seasons. That was smell accumulated dust with sweat. Oprah slightly turned head, almost unconscious reflex. Her eyes kept calm, but body automatically stepped back, half step after that hug. Right after finishing greeting everyone, Oprah whispered to assistant, requesting room freshener bottle to make air fresher. Minutes later, several woodstick diffuser perfume bottles displayed on table, fragrance spreading, making Barbara's moldy smell gradually overpowered. Barbara seemed not noticing the moldy smell on herself, or perhaps for her, that scent just mark of years of hard career days, nothing worth bothering. She sat on makeup chair, adjusted hair, waited turn on air, carrying confidence of someone too familiar with hustling backstage rhythm. Just over a month later, May 16th, after lunch with Brewster Place series cast at restaurant near studio, Oprah and Barbara sat close again. After meal ended, most scattered to private chats. Oprah wanted closer to chat with Barbara about grandmother role, about building elderly woman image on screen. At that time, smell from Barbara's mouth rose distinctly, a sour, sharp mix, gagging to point, making opposite wrinkle nose. When Oprah glanced at table, she saw in front Barbara a pickled cucumbers bag with few pieces left. She understood issue immediately. Barbara had habit-eating self-made Southern-style pickles, type cucumber-soaked vinegar, and raw onions. She believed that snack helping health in middle age. Issue was, she hadn't rinsed mouth after eating. Vinegar acid smell, mixed raw onions clung in breath like fermenting trash bin at hot noon. Oprah, though a bit startled, still sat there, appearing calm, listening, continuously nodding with forced smile, but hand unconsciously clenched tissue. Occasionally, she brought tissue to nose, pretended wiping mouth, eyes slightly shifting elsewhere like finding escape. Space between them became awkward in very silent way. After minutes, Oprah stood up, using excuse to get dessert for both. But her steps faster than usual, like wanting to leave that chair soon as possible. When returning, she found way to widen distance between them, pulling chair out a bit to chat safer, more at ease. 1. Madge Sinclair, the nurturing oil smell like spoiled goat milk haunting persistently. Madge Sinclair is a familiar screen face with deep roles in Roots, and Trapper John M.D., representing the veteran black actor generation steadily through decades, respected by peers though rarely at stage center. Late 1980s, Madge Sinclair's name still carried own weight in backstage conversations, especially when mentioning veteran black actors who paved way in toughest years. On October 22, 1989 in Chicago, Madge not in main cast list of series but still invited to share career experience and roles imprinted in audience memory. Backstage atmosphere then very warm with prolonged handshakes, hugs meaning gratitude, respect, and recognition. Oprah approached with beaming face. Hug for Madge she intended to give longer as way acknowledging predecessors' contributions, but only seconds contact. Madge's oily scalp smell hit. Madge always loyal to hometown hair care habit, thick hair oiled with natural coconut to keep moisture, hold style, protect before lights and cold wind. Issue was coconut oil smell. Oprah smelled no longer fresh, but turned rancid, sharp sour, like milk forgotten in kitchen corner many days. Dense travel schedule left Madge no time to wash hair, plus age making her scalp increasingly oily and sweaty. New oil over old, initial pleasant herbal scent gradually turned to nauseating smell. Oprah had to breathe slower to avoid that smell making dizzy. Professionalism helped her not show harsh emotion. She ended hug earlier than planned, steps moving lightly, leading Madge to stronger fan area. That position change diluted hovering oil smell somewhat. Initial gratitude hug suddenly left unpleasant aftertaste, unwanted mark between two people holding deep respect for each other. Around late 1990, Oprah and Madge, both in Christmas episode named "'Tis the Season," aired December 20th of ABC crime series Gabriel's Fire. After air date, small party organized backstage, compact scale, mainly internal celebration. When Oprah leaned close to Madge to whisper, another smell spread, not from hair, but from neck and chest area. Madge had habit using cheap talc powder thickly to absorb sweat due to age, especially in Chicago's humid weather. But seems she used too much powder. New layer over old mixed sweat, creating sour yet musty smell. Not fully sharp, but not easy to smell. Oprah again tried keeping smile, nodding evenly, listening career story with inner respect. But her body couldn't help leaning slightly farther. Discomfort made her body heat up, nose tense. Of course, courtesy first. Oprah came up with way to lessen smell intensity. She requested staff bring cool cloths in and place on table, using excuse so everyone could wipe sweat. Cool cloths appeared. Oprah immediately took one for herself and gave one to Madge. When Oprah wiped sweat, neck, and arms, Madge automatically followed without much thought. Unpleasant smell didn't vanish completely, but at least pushed back a bit. Madge still continued her story with radiant smile, and Oprah no longer had to hold breath in this conversation. Those moments never mentioned publicly by Oprah. They stayed in backstage memories, where lights don't shine, where greatness and ordinary flaws coexist. Madge Sinclair, still icon of resilient black actor generation with recognition all acknowledge. And here, as backstage stories close, what lingers, not just names or history-making roles, it's very real feel about people appearing much barer than perfect on-screen images. Stars' smells sometimes cause discomfort, but also inseparable memory part. If you once thought Hollywood only glow, perhaps this video brought different view, not beautiful, not easy accept, but true. Leave comment below, share your feelings after looking into celebrity world from such special angle. And if you want continue exploring backstage stories few dare tell, don't forget subscribe channel and turn on notifications.